Good morning. It's Tuesday, May 20-something or other. I don't know, it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I've been up since like 3, I think. What a day, what a day. Good morning. I'm freezing. I'm keeping my apartment at like 76 degrees, and I'm freezing. That's the lovely after effects of chemo in your body trying to repair itself. Yay! This morning, I'd like to discuss briefly marriage. The Apostle Paul gives his opinion in 1 Corinthians 7:25 with regard to the question about people who have never married. I have no command from the Lord. And he goes on and on about marriage, though, because I surmise that he was a celibate virgin, and terrific, good for him. I'm happy that he was able to control himself. Practically the rest of us cannot, though. I'll get into that in a couple seconds here. But I'd like to go with what Jesus said, because that's really the authority, the master teacher. I'm not trying to knock Paul or any other of the writers of the Gospels or Old Testament. I'm just saying, run with what Jesus says is the best bet. Yep, you don't even have to bet on Jesus. He's a sure thing. What Jesus had to say about marriage, he didn't say a whole lot about it. The verse I like best is Matthew 22:30 quotes Jesus. In the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. So we have opinion from Paul and fact from Jesus. Paul was brilliant. Again, I'm not knocking him, but most of the time Paul talks about marriage, he's flipping out on people. He was a zealot. Let's not forget the Apostle Paul was a zealot, and Yahweh liked that about him. So I appreciate that also. But I'm going to run with what Jesus says. And I'm going to bring up something from the Old Testament that seriously annoys me. Let's talk about King Solomon and the 1,000 women he had under his roof. He was a pervert, and that is disgusting. But he was allowed to be king. He was given wisdom because he asked for it. He was given great wealth. He was richly blessed in several ways. But he failed miserably in his marriage vows. In Old Testament, you were expected to have only one wife, but it was culturally tolerable to have several. And as a king of a nation, he just went hog wild in a poor example of how to be married. Yet, what we remember about Solomon is he was awesome. But here in modern day America, when someone has several lovers, well, we have a double standard. And we have a society norm here that's just wide open. I like the ideal that Yahweh put forth. 2 humans, you vow to each other to stick with each other forever, and that's that. Now, I understand his intent is 1 man and 1 woman. We have a democracy here, so we give our citizens more leeway. 2 men can get married and 2 women can get married. When I was in college and university, I used to push for civil union for homosexual couples because I just couldn't get past the fact that the Bible said only straight couples are allowed to get married. And when we got the ruling by the Supreme Court that more couples were allowed to get married in our democracy, I was actually very happy. I'm not worried about which two people get married. Because in this chapter, there's a few verses centered around chapter 22, verse 30 in Matthew, where Jesus gets frustrated with the people questioning him about marriage. He's like, you just don't get it. I'm not saying he opened the door and said anybody can marry anyone or anything. He didn't go that route at all. But what I'm saying is, I think we need to back off of each other. If King Solomon could have 1,000 wives under his roof, I think I have a little wiggle room. That's a personal opinion. Just like Paul, he has no commandment from the Lord. It was his opinion, everything else he said about marriage. So, in these times of great stress, the buddy system helps you survive. If you can find a way to love someone else so much that you're willing to take vows to protect, honor, and cherish them, dude, for right now, I'm thinking, anything to survive well. I have no commandment from the Lord either. Don't misquote me. I'm giving my opinion just like Paul. But if you're never going to get married, if you can't handle that kind of relationship, do your best to stay celibate, stay out of the dating game. Don't even tempt yourself with trying to date and stay out of the bedroom. But once resurrection happens, we're out of this paradigm of this form factor, and we get transfigured, and we become like angels in heaven. I look forward to this very much. In myself, I am unmarried, and I've been celibate a number of years, and I could tell you that this experience with the ovarian cancer, facing death really crushed me. And I really want a partner, because the buddy system is a good way to go. Jesus sent out his disciples 2 by 2 on purpose to help each other out. Everybody needs a good buddy. So as I heal, I'm going to look for someone. Now take it all the way to get married. If I can handle that, I will. God gave me a promise, so I believe I'm going to stay alive long enough to see the promise. The promise I was given was I will have a relationship. It won't be one other people approve of. I'm not worried about other people right now. I'm studying what Jesus had to say. My relationship with him is unique, as is yours with him, unique. He'll deal with me later. I'm not going to be worried about what other people say anymore, or how other people feel anymore. It's none of their business. Have a fabulous day. Hosanna, shalom.